So the White House now has started the campaign to be able to get impeached. They've actually started the impeachment campaign. They're sending emails out, they're floating news stories that they're preparing for impeachment, even though the weak Republicans have basically been silent on the issue. John Boehner says he's not going to impeach him. They're not going to impeach him this year. And everybody thinks that this is just a tactic by the Democrats to try and fire up the base. And there might be a little bit of that, but I think it goes a lot further. Now, this administration is the king of loopholes. You have to realize that. They're the king of playing politics. If they can't get something done on their own, they'll find a way to take advantage of a loophole. Case in point, here's the administration. They decide all the time certain laws that they don't like, they're not going to enforce. They don't pay attention to that. But now, since there's a border crisis that they manufactured, you don't think they manufactured it? I guess Obama and someone in that administration is a hell of a psychic, because back in January, they were looking for contractors that were capable of transporting 65,000 unaccompanied minors throughout the country. How'd they get the number right in the head if they didn't orchestrate it? Usually it's 4,000 a year. Then all of a sudden it was going to be 65,000, and they guessed this back in January, and they were right on point. No, but they didn't orchestrate the border crisis at all. So they want to get amnesty through. They orchestrate the border crisis. Then you take it one step further. Well, why can't we deport the kids? Oh, because of the George Bush law that was put in for sex trafficking in 2008. We have to pay attention to the law. And all the Democrats, they love that law all of a sudden. Any law that they usually don't like, they'll just say, oh, that doesn't matter. It's outdated. It's not a good idea anyway. And they'll just not abide by it. But that law, yeah, they're really sticking to that. The Obamacare. Oh, you aren't going to lose your plans at all. You weren't going to lose your doctor at all. Oh, no, there was this thing in the law we didn't realize. So I bring all that up because if you're a Republican or a Democrat, can't you see what they do as far as loopholes? They're the king of loopholes, the king of politics. Now, remember that, and I want to bring up a sports analogy here, because sometimes it's good to take a look at sports analogies, and they really can show what exactly is going on and what this impeachment, I believe, what it's really about. In sports, in hockey, if you're down the last minute or two, you're down a goal, you'll just kind of do something crazy that you normally would never do because it's your only shot to be able to win. You'll pull a goaltender. So you'll go with an empty net, hoping that the extra skater, every now and then it'll work out. You take a shot because you're going to pretty much lose anyway, and maybe it'll work out. Football, last play of the game, it's a trick play or it's a Hail Mary. They throw a pass 60 yards in the end zone. Everybody goes deep. Something that you would normally never do, but in that situation, you take a chance because you basically have nothing to lose. And I bring all this up because Barack Obama and the Democrats here, the king of the loopholes, they're running a Hail Mary, they're running a trick play, and I'm afraid I think it's going to work out. You know they're going to lose in the Senate. They're not going to have the majority in the Senate anymore, and they didn't have the supermajority anyway. Nothing was happening. But they still have an agenda. Democrats and Obama still have things that they want to be able to get through, and they're not going to be able to get anything done if it's a majority of Republicans in the Senate. He can't even get anything through the Senate now when he has 54 Democrats, let alone when it's probably going to be 51 or 52 Republicans when they had the majority. And do you think that Barack Obama is actually interested in wanting to try and hammer out deals with the Republicans? The man that says, I will not negotiate when the government is shut down? The man that says he doesn't like going through the legislative process all the time, doesn't like working with people? And the other thing, too, that you have to remember is look at the pattern. He gets into it in speeches, how he doesn't like the Senate. He always throws a story out that it's not a good idea, that you have to have all these almost 60 votes usually, because usually that's what it is. You almost have to have 60 senators to get anything through, because 40 can block anything. And he's talked about maybe there should be more per states, like in California, New York, where you have more population, not the fact that it's heavy Democrat. And you've seen Harry Reid has changed one of the rules in the Senate that's been around for almost ever, that you needed 60% of the vote to be able to get people appointed. That's now changed to 51%. He doesn't like the Senate. Obama and the Democrats hate that rule. And they have an agenda. They want to be able to get it done. Barack Obama has no interest in coming back in the midterms. So what do you have to lose? And it's going a little bit further here. Just follow with me. So now is what you do. You look at this impeachment that's coming out of the White House. The talk's all from them, and they think it's just a campaign tactic. Some of that's true. I'm telling you, it's more with them. They're the king of strategy. They're the king of loopholes. They're the king of doing whatever they have to be able to push their agenda through. So Obama knows that he cannot be impeached right now because of two reasons. First reason is it's an election year. It's a few months before an election year. You should see some of the simplest pieces of legislation. They won't even be voted on a couple of months before the midterms because nobody wants to go on record with anything before an election, let alone an impeachment. So for that reason alone, he can do whatever he wants for the next couple of months because the Republicans aren't going to try to impeach him. The second part of that is the Republicans right now, and I disagree with them for this, but this is what they're doing. They don't want to rock the boat. They know that they're going to pick up a lot of seats in the midterms because everyone's so sick of Obama. They don't have to win anything right now. The Republicans have won by default. So he knows that they're not going to impeach him. The Republicans don't want to screw up their chances in the midterms. On top of that, if you were the Republicans, why would you impeach him now when you have 46 senators and you need 2/3 to be able to impeach him? And you'll probably have 51, 52, 53 6 months from now. So, of course, you're going to wait. So that gives Obama and the Democrats the prime opportunity right now to basically return to 2009, 2010. Just start doing it with executive order after executive order after executive order, and they're not shy about it. You hear Obama talking, oh, I got my pen. And you know that's what's going to happen with amnesty. You could see the stories now that are funneling out that something's going to happen within the coming weeks, to be able to give working visas to up to 5 million people, and that they're going to stop the deportations. He'll probably announce it just before he goes to Martha's Vineyard. That way he doesn't have to deal with the press. But he wants to get impeached. He's going to force the Republicans to impeach him. He wants it. Did you hear him the other day in the speech? So sue me.
So sue me. As long as they're doing nothing, I'm not going to apologize for trying to do something.
He wants it. I'm telling you, he wants to get impeached. And I'm not so sure, to be honest with you, that Obama really does want to stick around. I mean, think about it for a second. He has already inked his $20 million book deal. Oh, you didn't hear about that? Oh, yeah. He's already inked his deal to get $20 million for the memoirs that he's going to release after he leaves office. Can't wait to get that one. More than likely, he's bought a house. The White House has denied it. Usually that's how you can tell something's true, when they deny it. Everybody else says that he's bought this house in California. And he also said in his speech the other day, I couldn't believe that he knows the number of days. He mentioned the number of days to the day, how many he had left in the White House. Now, how many people do you know that every day knows how many days they have left when it's in the 700s or 800s until they're done their job, unless they completely hate their job? That's the only people that keeps a 2.5-year countdown until you're leaving office. So I'm not so sure if the guy doesn't want to be impeached. And that explains what's been happening the last 2 months, I think, as much as anything else has. I mean, you think that the actions over the last 2 months have been about a guy that wants to keep his job, starting with the VA scandal, disgrace, negative story after negative story. He does nothing about it, goes and plays golf. Then you see the border crisis that they started. Then he won't go to the border. What is that? The IRS? Oh, yeah. We got rid of the hard drives because we're going green. Do you think anybody even believes that? Then the 5-for-1 deal, 5 enemies for the country, for another enemy of the country, and then you actually are going to trot Burdell out as if he's a hero? Like, this story wasn't going to come out. And then you have the father speak Arabic on the White House lawn. A lot of people say that he basically blessed the land of the White House for Allah. That this makes any markings of a president that actually wants to keep his job. So I'm not so sure that Obama just doesn't care. He's sick of the job. All he has an agenda. If he can't get his agenda through, he's done anyway. And that's why my theory comes back to this. Because that Senate that Obama talks about that he doesn't like, and the rest of the Democrats and Harry Reid, that you basically need 60 votes to be able to get anything done. Well, if you keep doing executive order after executive order, and just to be able to push your agenda through, and then you get the Republicans to impeach you, and I'm telling you, he's going to force the Republicans to impeach him. And you survive that impeachment. Remember, to be able to survive the impeachment, you only need 1/3 of the Senate to be on your side. It takes 2/3 to impeach. So 34 Senate votes, which is not much at all, could keep you from getting impeached. And what happens then? All of those executive orders, all of those things that you've been doing that you really can't do just to be able to ramrod your agenda through, it becomes validated. Because if he survives impeachment, well, look, the Republicans, they brought him up for impeachment, and it didn't work. And what happens? That amnesty that you needed 60 votes in the Senate for to get through now becomes 34. Because if he survives impeachment, all of his decisions become validated. And that House of the Republicans that he doesn't want to work with, can't work with, that doesn't matter. Because all he needs is 34 Democrat votes to validate everything. And that's what's going on here. That's why he wants impeachment. He can't wait for it. He wants it. He wants it. Because his agenda can now be validated, and he can get 34 Democrat votes to push through amnesty instead of 60. And honest to God, that's the worst part. Because once he gets impeached in the beginning of 2015, what are you going to do? Try and impeach him again 6 months afterwards? That's when he's really going to run roughshod and do whatever the hell he wants. And just like that, that's how Barry takes care of the Senate that he can't stand at all. That's how he overcomes the 60 votes in the Senate. Doesn't even take it down to 51. He takes it down to 34. And that explains as much as anything why everything has happened the last 2 months.